us more about your blueprint for success for women.
I did 6 weeks programs, which was free of cost for the public, and I did it like 3 group sessions, and in between I selected 20 winners, which I work with them in one-on-one capacity of private mentoring between the group sessions for those winners. But for the rest of the participants, they attend the group sessions only. And what is happening here in that workshop, I taught them how to write goals and how to write goals and how to place the right goals in life for you. For example, it has to be customized for Itar. It has to be customized for me, because again, there are fathers, there are mothers, people who are just graduated, different people who are in executive level. So the advice, why I had one-on-one, so they can taste what coaching is all about. In order to, for me, I'm tailoring it for Itar needs. So for instance, what I'm giving you as an advice, I cannot give to someone else who's in a different career. So even before building a portfolio, let's say corporate portfolio, or even if you have your entrepreneurial portfolio, you need to know what is your goals in life. You have to have clarity about what are your main goals. You have to have a clear vision board, because for any organization, they have vision, mission, and all objectives. We are the CEO of our own lives. Where are we heading? So there is no point for me to do a portfolio or enhance my CV, blah blah blah, but I don't have the strategy. I'm not really knowing. I'm the driver here.
Where's the end goal?
Yes. So for me, I always passionate to teach them how to set the right goals, because sometimes also some people, they can achieve a lot, but they want to be in the comfort zone. It's enough for me to take care of my kids. I want to do this, I want to do that. Tell me, what about your passion? So there are different exercises where I give them in those sessions where they can uncover their superpowers. Superpowers then it helps them to see their life calling, because it is something that you need to be passionate about. Of course, it can be updated next year and the year after, because again, we are evolving. We are human beings that we keep evolving. So for instance, you did a vision board this year, next year you will revise it. You want to enhance because now you have better awareness about, like you will upgrade. You will always keep upgrading your life. Once the person is clear where they are heading, then they start building their portfolios,
What is the balance? There's a day job that brings you money, but you're not happy. Or there's if you're happy doing your day job, just continue to build on your passion. What do you think? What's your advice?
My advice for people who want to start, I really love my job. I love my team. I love having a contribution to the government. So I love that part of it. And also working in a multinational organization is a blessing, to be honest. You get exposure. And I am someone who always like to find out about people, how people react a certain way, and I like analyzing on all. So I feel that my ball, or let's say my view is a little bit balanced between coaching and this, because it adds to my perspective. But again, there are some situations where people were kicked out of, like they were made redundant. And imagine for those people who were made redundant, because they had nothing else, they put 100% in their entrepreneurship journey. They become successful and billionaires because they had nothing else. They were focused on this, and they were, mashallah, they are now successful. So I don't think there is one size fits all. What this one works for other people. Like I have my own one of my coaches who did this. She also was a professor. She had a secure job and everything, and she told me Hanan, when I left I was making from coaching triple of what I was earning as a salary, and then I decided to leave my job. So it is an option, but can I tell you what is best for you? No, you need to decide for yourself. For me, now a lot of people, even with my clients, they are always asking me, how are you managing? I said, I am managing because I love it.
I'm enjoying it. Exactly. But that's the key.
Yeah, but if I didn't love it, my life will be miserable.
Exactly.
Because I will be trained at my corporate, and then I will come here also trained. I cannot give anything to my coaching. So it's always, based on your circumstances, choose the path that is good for you. Even maybe you will find something else that nobody has done, and you will do it. There is nothing bad about it. Always try and see.
That's interesting. I need to recap that at the end as a piece of advice. Tell us about Hanan Empire.
Okay.
I love the name, by the way. I love it. I think it's phenomenal.
Thank you so much. So I started Hanan Empire in May 2023. You know, I went through a transformational journey in my life. I don't know if you know about Bob Proctor.
Yeah.
He's a Canadian mindset coach. While I was doing my PhD, I was always thinking that I will finish PhD and I will travel to Canada and I will take a course with him. I have been following him since 2016. I'm so grateful for my line manager at that time. She is the one who introduced him to me. So I was following him on YouTube. I was learning a lot from this man. I was always inspired to watch his videos one after another in the YouTube channel. And I felt very connected. I felt very inspired, very connected. I wanted really to take serious change in my life. So I always had this in back of my mind that inshallah after I finish my PhD, I'm traveling to Canada because I think his course was 6 months. So I was even planning to take leave without pay to that degree. I really wanted to be
He is really inspirational, is he?
Amazing.
Always. Mm-hmm.
But what happened, the unfortunate event is that he passed away on January 2022 and I finished my PhD in March 2022. Honestly, even I don't know him personally, I cried when this happened because I felt like, oh my God, the
world lost somebody.
Yeah, the world lost somebody, but also my opportunity. I was thinking, I had a lot of things to tell him that I learned from you, and I felt like, disconnect, that I will not get this opportunity. What happened as time goes by, I was approached by Dr. Nabila Diab. She is Proctor Gallagher Institute consultant. So she has studied with Bob Proctor, and she was telling me that I can expand or enhance my LinkedIn presence or something like that. I didn't know what she was talking about, honestly, at that moment, because they were calling me in my work, I'm the queen of LinkedIn.
Okay.
But I said, okay, maybe she has some tips, why not? Let's be open. And then when I met with her, she mentioned Bob Proctor. So I was sold. Once she mentioned Bob Proctor, so I knew that she's one of the consultants, and I was so happy. And I didn't actually ask her many questions. And I started the program with her, which lasted for 6 months. After this 6 months, I had another coaching by Peggy McCall, and she was also she's a Canadian, and she was one of the Bob Proctor's earliest students. You will always see them together in events and in YouTube. They have a lot of, and she's very inspiring lady, to be honest. She has adopted me as a success mother.
That's lovely.
And so Peggy, she's really amazing. I took with her the 6 months, and until now, she's one of my coaches. I'm so grateful for her. But just to let you know, a coaching experience really has transformed my life.
I can imagine.
And it's like I quantum leaped from Hanan, the mentality, the mindset, to a new version of Hanan that I never dreamt of becoming. So this is what I really wanted to give to people. I want people to know that really they can change their life. They can be the author of their own life, and they can write the script of their life that they want they want to realize. And every one of us have different dreams, and the nice thing, it's the same methodology, but your dream is totally different than mine. You will be successful in your way, I will be successful in my own way. The success you define success, the way that you define success, different than how I define success, and this is normal. When I built Hanan Empire, I wanted to guide organizations and individuals, but mostly individuals to change their life.
But I love that. I love what you just said about quantum leap. She helped you quantum leap your life. I love that. Because I think, I also want to dig deep and understand when you started this coaching with her. Have you started coaching before that time? Was there any coaching for you before, or this was your first experience with coaching?
This was my first experience with coaching, but prior to that, I'm certified trainer also for 17 years. So I've been delivering corporate trainings mostly. I was conducting workshops, and the reason when I decided to become a coach, it also because of one of the exercises, which I give to my let's say the people who come to my workshops and my programs. I was told that ask your inner circle that you trust the most. Ask them what is great in me. Forget about the bads. Only what is great about me. So when I collected my answers from the people who were close to me at that time, I found two streams. A lot of people were telling me that I have great leadership skills. They always look up to me as a leader. Like they know that I'm a good leadership quality. So honestly, I didn't know what to do with that because I can maybe practice that in my corporate side. The second thing that they mentioned is that Dr. Hanan, we love your workshops. We love your trainings. We cannot wait until you conduct for us training. We love your presenting skills. Always you inspire us with even the slides when you present and how you present your ideas. So when I was talking with Dr. Nabila, I was telling her, there are many coaches. Why would I become a coach? I don't know. The market is filled with million of coaches. She told me, but Hanan, nobody is Hanan.
Exactly.
So
every empath is different.
Yeah.
Every empath is different.
So alhamdulillah, I was blessed, and to start this journey, I found response. I was trying something and I was feeling, it's really beneficial for you, amazing. So I was trying something else and people would give me feedback that it was beneficial. And here I became more in love with what I'm doing.
And how are you finding the impact of what you're doing? Is it similar? So what's your vision? I want to know what your long-term vision, and I want to know how you're finding the current impact, because I feel like when we build something and we have people in mind, especially if it's a people-centered business, there's so many contradicting things that we're trying to do. We're trying to help others. We're trying to protect ourselves as well from overgiving and overextending ourselves. We're trying to achieve a financial gain and build a successful business. So what's your long-term vision, and how are you finding yourself achieving it right now? Do you feel like, where are you in terms of the milestones that you want to achieve?
Okay, I am just in the start. I am, alhamdulillah, I have gained a trust of many clients. What is really amazing, I am also in this journey, I am sometimes I am pulling myself out to observe Hanan,
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm really amazed because the people who come to me are coming from different backgrounds. So for instance, I had also people who have their own companies, people who have their own investments, and they are coming for me. They are already high achievers, and I appreciate this kind a lot, because they don't have ego. I can always learn, and they understand what is the benefit of having a coach. So for me, of course, one of my ambition is to build to expand my empire over time. But mostly my mission is to enable people to live a majestic life.
I love that.
Yeah. So this is my main mission, to guide people, to support them, to identify their own skills, competencies, their superpowers, and how to use them to live life majestically.
I love that, and especially, I love the majestically part. I'd love to understand more about how, so it means I'll take a session with you. I think one of the interesting things about coaching and mentoring is that, in our region, not many people go for it. And maybe now more so than before, people are accepting it. Even from a corporate level, it wasn't available in all corporates. It wasn't available in all organizations. It was something you have to do on your own. And it comes at a cost. And I think it's hard for people to admit, especially within organizations where there's coaching program within or mentorship. People are always worried about how they look towards others, right? If, you don't want to seem that you don't know what you're doing or whatnot, you're not going to be as comfortable. So having an external, going to somebody outside of your organization, there's a blessing to that. Being in the field of knowledge management, being in this field for a few years now, how do you see the shift? How much are people coming for that? You've said you have a lot of clients, but do you see a drastic shift in how organizations are also adopting or asking for for these kind of services?
For now, I didn't honestly try with organizations. Like for organizations, we are providing trainings, not coaching. We still, I don't think we did not reach to that maturity where organizations will ask for one-on-one sessions coachings
for their employees.
I don't think we reached to that maturity level yet. But for example, studying the community also always, from my experience with dealing with the community directly, whether both men or women, sometimes they feel, okay, coaching is expensive, why would I invest?
Exactly.
I rather go and get me gold or buy a property. But they don't know that investing in your mindset, that what would give you more gold, it will give you more investment.
Exactly.
So for me, I struggled to teach people that what I had. I told you I had 6 months, and this year I have a full year. I am coaching, but while being coached as well for one entire year. And of course, I will always have coaches. Even when I finish this, I am sure I'm going to continue my private coaching, for example, with Peggy and so forth. I also have another coach, Ms. Samira. So for me, I don't think, because we always expand. The more knowledge you will know that you don't know anything. You will always know that what you know is very little. So would you want to stay in your position and not be aware, or you want always to expand your knowledge? So for me, I always struggle to tell them, guys, because when you invest in yourself, when you invest in your mind, your knowledge, it will give you more returns. But still, not a lot of people are in that level of maturity. I am going to invest in a trip.
Yeah.
I am going to invest in my clothes, something that I can see tangible,
yeah.
But they don't
that
see
others can see as well.
Yeah.
So I think to your point earlier about like limiting mindsets, is also part of like that. There's a lot of limiting beliefs within our mindset that kind of don't push us. I when I look around, even my circles, I don't find a lot of people who have coaches. Some do, but I've noticed in Europe, for instance, I was in a cohort a few years ago on this. It was a gender policy hackathon. And I was with, there was a lady who was easily 10 years younger at the time. And this was probably 7 years ago, more than that. And she was a high flyer. She was like jumping up positions and, like you said, quantum leaping, because they had, so she was from Italy. And I remember they had a platform for mentorship. So she said from university, it was like something that they all use in their culture, that they would sign up to this platform, and it was common, and you get yourself a mentor, and you never not have a mentor. And I remember, like, with a recent experience, to your point, I've had a recent experience with coaching 2 years ago. Shout out to, his name is Amboa Pascal. He's a lovely guy, shout out to him. And he was my first coach. And I remember that he challenged me to find 15 mentors from my network.
Wow.
And he challenged me to reach out to them asking. And I found that personally at the time very difficult, because especially where you are and where your position is, you feel, I think one of the limiting beliefs is, if I have 17 years of experience in the field and I reach out to people in my field and I say, hey, I want you to be my mentor, even if they have a few years ahead of me, it feels like I don't know what I'm doing, right? So I think that's the limiting belief. People are worried.
The ego and
the ego, absolutely. So it's easier for you to get a mentor from another field, than get a mentor from your field. And his challenge to me was find 15 mentors in your field. And I'm not going to say that I've done that yet, but I will say that I've reached out to a few around. But I mean, that's definitely very interesting. And I love that it's altruistic, because you didn't talk about numbers, although I'm sure as a business person, you would have a business plan with numbers on it. But the fact that you have a vision to inspire people to live their majestic life, I think that's super wonderful. I want to ask you, before we wrap up, I want to ask you an inspiring story from one of your mentors, or your, what do you call them? Coaches? I don't think coaches. The people you've coached.
Yes, an inspiring story.
An interesting story first, something that you were shocked to hear, maybe a bit, crazy, and another one that's actually inspiring.
So from my clients, I had one lady. She's not old, by the way, but she's a grandmother. She's not that old, because I'm saying grandmother. Okay. People might think she's old. She's a grandmother, and she reached me, like, she's told me, Hanan, I always, which is a problem in our, let's say, our region, little bit, like, for example, when you get married, if you don't have the right awareness, slowly you are going to delete your own circle. Because for a healthy marriage, you have to have your own circle, he has to have his own circle, and then you have to have joint circle. If you keep your husband as the center of the universe and you forget about your own circle, about your own friends, about your own family, this is becoming a problem. So she had this challenge. She started following her husband from there and here, and after she had kids, she also started looking after her kids, but she didn't have any personal interest or passion or anything. And she was telling me, and I feel like life is passing by and I didn't accomplish anything. Of course, I am proud that I have kids and everything, but I feel something is missing. So she's working also in corporate. So again, we did with her the exercises of finding life calling and whatever. And again, I don't want to give a lot of details about her, but she started her own business. And she started generating profit. So this is what it's inspiring me personally. Interesting stories, as I told you about the 6 weeks program I have conducted. To be honest, I had amazing personalities. I have had amazing personalities who are working in the corporate from different organizational levels. Some of them had executive leadership positions, some of them in their middle management, some of them, I would say, in their early careers. And what I liked about them is the seriousness, of booking the one-on-one sessions, the seriousness of doing the homework. Because again, one of the things I highlighted is that if you don't do the homework I have given you, there is no way for me to help you to the next. Because again, it has to be something I give you as an advice, or let's say this is my method, this is my process. You have to do the homework. The homework is not a university homework. It's about you. It's about your life. What really you desire? What would you love? Now, I reached to the last one-on-one. April will be the last month where I complete the one-on-one from that. The great thing about it is that there were people who wanted to do podcasts. They started doing. People who wanted to build healthy habits like reading, they started doing it. People who wanted to start their own startups, they started doing it. So I think
that's nice. You're seeing the fruit of your labor and their labor as well. I love that.
And all it is like 6 weeks. It's like
it's wonderful.
I think I should call it the miracle 6 week or something.
That's beautiful. I love that.
So I think these are the interesting stories, because as long as you work and put your energy, you will find something.
You see the rewards. That's beautiful, Hanan. Hanan, I want to ask you about something you mentioned earlier, which is quite interesting. You're film directing. You had a film directing experience or career at the time, right? And I feel like it has something to do with Hanan Empire. Tell me what the relevance is, and if there's any direct connection between what you used to do as a film director and how you built your profile and then Hanan Empire.
This is an interesting question. Usually from all my education backgrounds, I always try to utilize my knowledge in some way or another. So for film directing, I studied applied media communications for my higher diploma and my bachelor's at Dubai Women's College, and I specialized in film directing. After that, I took some courses on Hollywood Institute and in the New York University. About film directing. I was so passionate about it, and even I wanted to do my master's in media, but at that time it was not available in my UAE to do master's in media unless if I traveled. So at that time it was not an option for me, to be honest. I was more interested to producing documentaries, and I have actually produced several documentaries. Some of them were award winners.
Wow.
I also displayed one of them in Sundance Film Festival.
Amazing. I saw that.
I did one premiere for my documentary called Our Right to Ride. It was a very alhamdulillah big premiere in 2007 where 500 people came.
Amazing.
And also Sheikh Talib came, and he's awarded all my volunteers, my crew and everyone.
Amazing.
So how I am utilizing the skills from my film directing or media field in general is now as a being coach. The social media now, everyone can produce their own materials. So I'm trying to use now these skills that I have learned in my So I'm doing coaching, but I'm also doing the filming in order to communicate my messages to the, let's say, to the world and to the public. So I'm using those skills now in order to publish these messages.
That's amazing. So you were saying about how it impacts social media and how people are able to redirect almost their own portfolios through social media. So you're a big advocate. I know you're very active on LinkedIn and on Instagram. And how do you feel like, I think maybe one last advice to people about how they can utilize that, social media specifically, for building their portfolios?
Okay, so back again to the goals. I want them to understand, for example, what is their goal. For instance, today I had an interesting discussion with my eldest sister, actually. She's a consultant doctor. She's a gynecologist. She's really amazing. She have done a lot of serious surgeries, and even like in the family, they always, for any deliveries, they try to consult her. And I knew we had discussions that she told me, yes, I am doing this, but I feel that my passion is media. So I gave her an advice. I told her, Amal, why don't you, in your social media presence, utilize your skills about, you can have two streams. For example, stream, like, let's say, topics for doctors who are in your field. So you will give them, the terminologies and all of that. And the other one is the public. So if a pregnant woman would like to know what is the difference between, let's say, cesarean and natural birth, you are giving them this symptoms of this, they will treat it like this. So she was open to the idea. So it's always key to utilize, always think about your passion. What is your goals? And based on that, build your social media presence. This, I think that
I love it. So now you know how you can create a professional profile, utilize your professional experience to build a social media profile. I think that's beautiful. Hanan, 2 last advices you would give to people from your career, and one thing you want to see change in the world.
I think the first advice I would give people is that regardless what you went through in life, don't stay in that energy. Like, let's say if you have any traumatic events, it's really important to get healed by any means possible. Maybe watching videos on YouTube on how can I get healing. Maybe you can hire a healer. Why it is important? Because when we are healed, we do we tend to take decisions from a very balanced approach. So even what you have been exposed, it was not your mistake, but it is your responsibility to take charge of in your life and try to change it. The second thing, I always say it in most of my posts, you are the author of your own life. So make sure that you write a good story and that you want to live in the story that you are narrating. So if you are not liking the current narrative, you can change it.
Change it. Don't stay stuck.
I just want to see people taking control of their life, things are, we are always attached to this idea that I can change this person, I can take control over this situation, I can change this circumstance. But we neglect the idea is that change starts within ourselves. So I've been maybe a control freak for many years. I was looking, one of my limiting beliefs is perfections. Being perfect, I want to do this in a perfect way, I want to do this, I release this in a perfect way. But I realized, no, perfection is not everything. If you go and do a low quality, let's say with a normal equipment from your own home to deliver a message, if this message coming from your heart, regardless of what equipment you are using, it will reach to people and it will even be even more impactful.
100%.
So it depends,
And it's about really how much we impact people rather than how many people or how many followers, especially on social media.
Yes.
And I think as somebody who's trying to grow her business or trying to grow, or people who are trying to grow their social media presence, we get stuck on the numbers. And I think that's a very valuable, important advice. I used to have people, when I started my account as Motherly Wise 3 or 4 years ago, I put myself out there vulnerably to say, this is our struggles as a mother, this is postpartum depression, this is what. And one of the things that I felt was very difficult, I mean, seeing that, like you said, you know, people's expectations versus what you want to post. And also, one of the things that kept me going is that I used to get feedback from people saying, thank you for posting. Thank you for talking about this. This really changes our life. And I think what you share, one of the things that I've just taken back with me from my experience with social media is that you really don't know how much you're changing a person's life. I've had people tell me that they are watching my posts, my stories every single day. And it's all inspirational stuff. It's all about like trauma and change and whatnot and how to change and stuff like this. And they say that they wake up wanting to see all of those stories.
Amazing.
And to me, if you can impact 10 people, it's probably much more impactful than, you know, having 1 million followers with random stories. The fact that you're changing people's lives, I think that's very inspirational. That's why I love having you here on the podcast.
Thank you.
And that's why I love what you're doing.
Thank
and
you
I
so
wish
much,
you the best of luck.
No, I really agree with you. يعني it's not about the following, and it's nice to have a strong media, يعني social presence. But again, where are we reaching? What is our target audience? Whom are the sample that we really, you know, want to benefit? It's really a key.
And what are they taking back with them? I think that's very important.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Hanan, for being here. Dr. Hanan, for being with me on the podcast on the first session. This is beautiful. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
Good luck with everything. I will sign up, and you all should sign up to her coaching programs. Thank you so much, everyone. And please subscribe, share, follow, as they say.
Thank you. Thank you so much.